y'all feeling?
Woo! Angry.
I'm heartbroken and outraged. And I wasn't gonna come. But I know that you're out here. And so I wanted to be out here with you all to say, we trust women and we are not going back. So for 50 years, women in this country have had the constitutional right to their own reproductive rights. For 50 years, do you hear me? That's longer than I've been alive. For 50 years, women have had that right. And I want to say this because it's really important for people to recognize that Roe v. Wade essentially was about our right to privacy. It's about the 14th Amendment and about the right for us to make decisions about our own private lives. And what the religious, conservative, radical majority justices did today is to say that their religion has superiority over our right to our own private bodies and decisions. And that should be outrageous in the United States. Because we talk about fundamentalists, religious bigots in other countries all the time here in the United States. But we are not having enough conversations about the rise of the religious right. People who think their faith, their God is superior to ours. People who want to govern us and tell us what decisions we should be making about our own bodies. I am sick and tired of having to stand up to people who hide behind the Constitution to limit our right to it. Because to me, what the Constitution is about is expanding rights and protecting liberty for all of us. It is not for the few. It is not for the minority. It is not for men. It is not for people who believe in one kind of God. It's supposed to be for every single person in this country. And so I refuse to accept the legitimacy of a court that in one breath says the constitutional right to bear arms should be protected and states have no place in having laws that say you can't conceal to carry. And the next day, they say we don't have the right to privacy under the 14th Amendment because the states get to decide on that. What the heck? The job of the Supreme Court is to interpret the Constitution justly, not based on their own bias, not based on their own faith, not based on their superiority to the rest of us. And so it is important for you to be out here and to stay out here. Because they're not stopping with Roe. They have a big plan, as Justice Thomas said. But even more dangerous than that plan is that in almost half of this country, states are ready to ban abortion. Outright ban abortion. That means if you are sick, if you are raped, if there is incest, you are forced to have that baby or die. That is what's happening here in the United States. And so if we do not realize how dangerous this movement and this moment could be for us for years to come, then I don't know what kind of country we will end up having. Because I tell you this, I know that if we do not protect and keep the House, they will pass legislation to ban abortion. Instead of passing legislation to codify Roe v. Wade into law and guarantee women's right to choice. I know that if we do not maintain the Senate, Mitch McConnell and others have already promised that they will ban abortion. And come 2024, if they win the White House, women's right to choose will not exist in states. It will also not exist in this country. So if you do not want to go back to back alley abortions, you have to fight. If you don't want contraceptives to be banned, then you have to fight. If you don't want a ban on gay marriage, you have to fight. If you don't want our kids, our trans kids criminalized, you have to fight. My daughter today texted me, she's in Minneapolis, she's 19, and she said, Mom, is this it? Is this it? Is there nothing that can be done? I cried after I read that text message, and it's hard for me to admit that because I don't like telling people I cried. But I sat there recognizing that for 13 states in the United States, that after 30 days, this is it. And for another 13, it's going to also be it. And it could be it for 50 if we do not act. So thank you for saying this is it. For not saying this is it. For saying we are going to do something. We're going to stand up. We're going to hold one another up. And we are going to fight for a country that expands rights and not limit it. For women, for people, for everyone in this country.